She's Trey's.
Yeah, it's just Trey. All right, hi guys. Welcome to the shit show. I'm really nervous, so we're all gonna do a shot. Cheers.
Cheers.
Men suck.
Men suck.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about some stuff today. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm Danielle. Hello. This is Olivia and Cassidy over here. We're talking about dating apps, first dates, worst dates. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who I am, and then they're going to do some intros as well. This is the first time I've ever talked on camera done a podcast thing, so I'm super nervous, but it's going to be fun because we're just chatting. I was born and raised in Florida. I'm really gonna suck at this.
You got it. You got it.
I'm gonna take my music down a little bit. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn the music down.
Where are you from? How you got here?
Born and raised in Florida. I have worked in retail for the past 10 years. I own a little company. I also do life coaching. That's kind of where I got some experience here with all this relationship stuff. And the goal here is to just help everybody out, get on the same page, not talk shit about men, even though the name is pretty funny. And Olivia and Cassidy, when you guys want to go next?
Hi guys, I'm Olivia. I was born and raised in Gainesville, Florida, and I recently moved to Jacksonville in January.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Danielle for about a year now, and I've made amazing friends and had a lot of dating experience since I've moved here, so I'm really excited for this podcast. I was in a relationship before, and then when about a year ago, I got out of a relationship and started dating again, so that was a really fun experience. And here we are. And this is Cassidy.
I'm Cassidy. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I moved away for a long period of time, but I moved back to Jacksonville in 2020. Also, like I said, I've had a lot of experience dating, especially around Jacksonville. Lived in Alabama for a little bit, lived in Atlanta for a little bit, so pretty much been dating in all those cities. So
Lots of experience.
Yeah, so a couple different kinds of guys and stuff like that. So
Great guys.
yeah, all fabulous. So yeah.
And just to update you guys on our kind of personal life, I'm single. Cassidy's also single.
I'm in a relationship
Hey.
now, and my dating paid off, and I'm finally in a relationship.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start with dating apps. I know there's a lot of different apps out there. So we're gonna. What was that? We're gonna go over the different ones that are the most popular, I would say. Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, and kind of say what your opinion is on each one of those.
Yeah. I would say I haven't used Tinder for many, many years. I personally think it's the worst. Just because I personally am not a part of hookup culture. So a lot of people on Tinder, they just want to hook up, or it's not very serious. And so I find that it just does nothing for me. I've been really successful off of Bumble and Hinge. Bumble, just because I can kind of take matters into my own hands, which I already do. I take a lot of initiative. So Bumble, I can just message a guy, and I don't have to worry about them saying anything to me. Because sometimes guys are just weird, and they say weird first comments, which we'll get to. And then recently, the last 2 years, I really enjoyed Hinge because it's very not professional, but just very serious. And if you are just in the hookup culture, you can put that. If you're looking for a relationship, you can put that. So it gives you an opportunity to exactly say what you're looking for. So I think those are my top two, probably Hinge first, and then Bumble.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I used Tinder in college. I feel like it's a very college app. I actually have a newly single friend, and she was talking to me about dating apps last week, and I was like, oh, well, which ones did you download? And she said Bumble and Tinder. And I'm like, girl, we're in our mid-20s. Tinder is not really, that's what I used, but she had been in a couple long relationships, so she didn't even know. So yeah, I definitely haven't messed around with Tinder since college, because like you said,
it's definitely college app.
Yeah, college app, hookup culture.
Yeah.
On Bumble, on Hinge, I use Hinge more than anything. I like the features on there more. I feel like there's a more diverse range of people, and you can kind of set your settings to more preferency, and then So I like Hinge more, and I feel like you're able to show your personality a little bit more because I know that the voice memo thing can be a little cringe sometimes, but if guys use it the right way, sometimes it's funny and it shows your personality and you can kind of talk and whatever. So I have seen, some very, very good Hinge profiles, and I just stay on Bumble just because I like the swipey.
Yeah, it's fun. It's easy. It's quick.
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks of Tinder because it was like the first one that really ever came out.
Yeah.
Personally, I was on Tinder like 10 years ago, and I actually met my first husband there. I am since divorced, so it didn't work out too well. But Hinge, I think, is the best because really it's people looking for relationships. Like all the prompts really helped you like figure out who somebody is before you just swipe on their looks because a lot of people can be hot, but like not shit there.
Yeah.
I do find Bumble kind of annoying because I don't necessarily want to have to write the first message every single time.
I agree with that. You have to
interested, like tell me you're interested. I don't want to be like, hey, because like most guys are gonna reply back anyway.
Right.
So it's like I don't know.
Well, and that's another thing I've seen with Bumble, with Bumble is I will only message a guy first if I have a reason to. Like if there's something in their bio that I'm like, okay, I could bounce off of this. I'm not gonna be out there sending like 20. Hey, what's up? Because they're just gonna be like, hey, what's up? I'm
How's
like,
your day?
At work.
Yeah.
We're like, same.
Those conversations end so quick.
They end so fast.
So quick. It's just like, hey, what's up? All right, I'm done. I'm bored.
You really have to send a very interesting message for the first one, I feel like, because they'll just like match with you because, they're bored, whatever, and like they're maybe not looking for anything. So if you send them something interesting or you start with like a question that makes them think like, oh, like, let me think of something to talk about and, like, get this going. And then you start talking about other stuff. I feel like that's the most natural way to do it. Personally, I never message a guy first unless he's, like, super duper hot.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of men are just, like, sitting around waiting for girls to message them, and it's really not going to happen. You really need to lead with your personality.
Yeah. I would definitely say, it depends. Because, like, sometimes I'm bored and I'm impatient. So I'm just like, I'm just going to send out a message. And I usually like the prompts on Hinge, which I really like, because I'll make, like, a very funny, like, or inappropriate comment to, like, something they said, or they'll be like, I don't know, some of the prompts are really good, and I'll just be like, oh, really? Or, like, say something to that.
Yeah.
And same with Bumble. That's how I usually try to engage the conversation.
Get the conversation going.
Yeah.
On Bumble, since it's, like, a picture-based where you're swiping, I know it's super important for your pictures to be right, so that's something I want to talk about next.
Yes.
So many men's pictures are so bad and so cringy and so awful. The very first picture that you post has to be like very clear photo of your face, what you look like, no sunglasses, no hat, just
no
you by
friends.
yourself, no
Oh my
friends,
gosh.
because then they're swiping through trying to be like, who is this? Which one is he the hot one or is he the ugly
Right.
one? It's always good to have like a full body picture, a friend group picture, maybe something of your car, like if you have a cool car.
Yeah.
If you don't have a cool car, no car pictures, please. Vacation photos are always like super welcoming, like if you travel and stuff, that's always really cool. And I know everybody posts a picture with their dog. If you don't have a dog or it's not your dog, don't post a picture with the dog.
Yeah,
I
they'll
hate
try
that
to
'cause I'll be
catch
like,
women like that.
Oh, it's my friend's dog.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm like,
It's his ex-girlfriend's dog.
It's his ex-girlfriend. It's your ex-girlfriend's
Yeah.
dog. It's okay, you can say it. Your ex-girlfriend took that picture
Yeah.
of you and her dog, and you thought it was a good picture because a female took the picture.
But that's how they try to lure you
So
in,
then you're
because
gonna
they're
post
like, it's like a cute boy
Yeah.
with a cute dog, and you're like, oh wait.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that a lot though, because it's so hard because guys just do not. I have seen guys on these dating apps, and then I have run into them, and I might have not swiped, on them or anything. Then I'll see them out, and I'm like, oh, he's actually kind of hot.
Yes.
What the hell is he doing?
Yeah, guys are really bad at taking photos
Yeah.
in general. Always have your friends like take photos of you. I'd say like if you're a guy and like you need help with this, but also like if you know another guy who's on a dating app and they need better photos too, just like go have a mini photo shoot. It's like not that weird.
It's not weird
It's
at
really
all.
not that
It's not
weird.
Because you're missing out on so much opportunity for
Yeah.
girls who will swipe on you. Because for me, when I was on the dating apps, your first picture, if it is like really bad, or I don't know who you are, you're wearing glasses or it's terrible, I just swipe. I don't even like. I'm not even
gonna
interested.
take the time to like scroll through the entire
Yeah.
profile. And I've seen so many guys who every single one of their pictures is all them and their friends.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god,
are
that's
you?
the worst. Which one?
Which one
Which
are you?
one?
Okay, there are some funny guys. Well, they'll put emojis over their friends' faces.
Yeah,
and they'll put
yeah,
little
I
arrows
would
out of which
way
one.
rather
Those are kind of
that.
funny.
I
would
would
say those
way
are a little
rather
funny.
have somebody do that.
But
than
the
just-
guessing game is not
Yeah,
fun.
it's not
Yeah,
It's not fun.
and then you match them, and it's not their hot friend.
Like these
and
apps are
it's
supposed
like,
to be easy.
Yeah, yeah, I don't want it to be complicated.
Okay,
But
so
like if a girl does it, then
one
they're
thing,
like, which girl?
one thing
Sorry.
I think that's super important, specifically on Hinge. I don't know as much about the other ones nowadays, but filling out all the little questions at the top of the screen. So it's like, what do you do for work? Where did you go to school? Where's your hometown? Drinking, I think, is one of them. Children. Do you want a relationship? Do you smoke? Do you do any drugs? Like all of that stuff. I say fill out all of them because at the end of the day, if you are just looking to hook up with people, then whatever. Be on a dating app. Say that you're just looking to hook up with people. But if you're actually looking for a relationship and you're like trying to cultivate something there, be honest, because if somebody doesn't like it, then they're not going to like you and it's not going to work. You don't want to hide all those things about you. All the time I see people on there, they say they don't drink. I'm like, you're at the bar every weekend. I know you can drink. Yeah, and personally for me, like if a guy doesn't have his job listed, I'm like, you're probably not doing anything.
Or self-employed. That's my favorite one. Self-employed. I'm like, okay, unemployed.
So you're unemployed. Yeah. Even if like you work in a restaurant or you're a bartender or something, just put it on there.
You're gonna end up having to talk about these things anyway with whoever you go out on a date with, so you might as well be upfront.
And if it's like a deal breaker for like a girl that you work in a bar or you're a server, maybe she has a really awesome career, then like it's just not gonna work. You don't want to hide it off the bat.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the more information that you can provide, the more likely you're gonna find someone who's compatible, rather than like going on a date and then finding out you're not compatible for any reason. Could be literally anything. It doesn't matter which prompt. But I think like if you're a guy and you're looking for something serious, then you should want the girl to have all of her information as well. Yeah. So why not do the same?
And I do like now on Hinge, you can put kind of what you're looking for, but then you can also write below it, say you say something casual or a short-term relationship, then now you can insert your own thing. You can say only in Jacksonville for work, just looking to go out on a couple dates, whatever. Like fill those things out, because then, especially in your mid-20s, you should be very open and upfront about what you're looking for. I mean,
speaking of upfront, how do you feel about like people with their kids posting photos of them on social media? Like,
I think people should know that you have a kid and what kind of parent you are. I feel like if you're kind of ashamed of your kid, then some girls may be open to a kid. Like if I met a guy and I didn't know he had a kid, and then I found out like a few weeks later, I'd be more stunned and be like, why are you hiding this from me? Rather than like if I meet a guy and he's so great and he tells me he's a kid, but then I can make that decision for myself. Well, you know what? Like I didn't want a kid, but if I feel like he's the one and I meet their kid or whatever, then I'm more open to possibly having a kid. Obviously, that's not my goals right now. But I think that you shouldn't hide, your life, your story, and that you should just be upfront with it.
Yeah, I saw this TikTok last night. Actually, this girl was talking about how she's on dating apps, but she's pregnant, and how she approaches that, and she puts has kids already in her thing, in her Hinge, profile. And then, when a guy brings up, oh, you have a kid, she's like, yeah, actually, I'm pregnant. I'm not sure if that's a whatever. But just like I said, like very upfront, open, honesty about everything right off the bat, especially with apps, is major. Major.
I literally have friends. I had a roommate in college. He like lied on his entire profile about like being like an architect, going to UF, and this guy had literally just got out of prison.
Oh, we love that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So he matched with a girl that lived in our neighborhood, and she started coming over and like hanging out, and I literally became best friends with her, and he stopped talking to her, and she was like, well, I don't want to talk to him anyway. He lied about all this stuff on his profile. But it's so funny because like one of my best friends of all time I met through a dating app. So like there's a lot of connections that can happen there, even if like you're not looking for a relationship.
I've matched with guys on there that things were not going to go, dating wise. I'll run into them out. They're actually a really cool person, and we've ended up being friends. That stuff happens all the time.
Yeah. So the next thing that kind of goes with, photos and all of that. I know this especially goes for guys. I feel like a lot of guys aren't necessarily photogenic. Like you show a photo of them to your friends, and you're like, oh, he's way cuter in person.
Just scroll back to like 2019. Vacation photo that their sister took.
Yes. So to avoid the whole catfishing vibe, or like maybe like you just photograph really bad but you look good in person, one of those, I do think the video prompts that they have now that you can upload are really helpful, because there have been pictures of guys where I see all their photos and I'm like, and then I see a video and I'm like, oh, okay, like they're super cute.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I feel like I look better in videos than pictures, and I feel like that's just for a lot of people. There's people who look better in pictures and don't look good in videos, and people that look good in videos and don't look good in pictures.
I'm a video picture girl.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, do not take a picture of me, but if I'm in a video, I'm video me. Yeah. So I feel like the same goes for guys as well, because it's just something about lights and angles and your facial structures and like and just everything. So I feel like video prompts, like you said, are just very helpful. Like a fun video of you and your friends, as long as we know who you are, like which one it is, then I feel like it's a good.
I really like seeing videos of guys in clubs.
Oh, me too.
Honestly,
Because that's some of the times I get the biggest ick is like seeing a guy at a bar and he's like a little bit, you know, like stiff. You know what I'm talking about? It's like this motion. And so like seeing them out like vibing like with their friends, like drinking or whatever, I've got to know. I've just gotta know
like,
what
are
you're
you
doing.
fun?
Like, are you fun or are you gonna be like this? And
Like I'm bringing 2x4.
Oh, so with all the prompts and stuff, the prompts that you can like write in and like talk about yourself, your hobbies, all of that, those are just as equally important to me as the pictures, because if I see somebody and they're like exactly my type, but their prompts are like shitty or like they're clearly only looking to hook up, like that's something that you need to keep in mind, because whatever you put in there is going to be what you're going to attract. I think a lot of guys mess up because they answer all these questions and they talk about themselves the entire time.
Yeah.
Like everything's about, this is what I like to do, like, you know, this is what I like to drink, this is what I like to eat, just like boring basic stuff. I think if you're actually looking for a relationship, it's really important to say like something about the partner that you're looking for. Like, I would love to find a girl who likes to hike and play video games and, you know, whatever. Like, just talk about yourself the whole time. Like, this is my car. It's kind of just like, you're very self-centered, and that's kind of something I think girls easily pick up on.
Yeah, and also if they answer, because I know I sent you that screenshot of that one guy. He was like, "Do not match with me if all of your pictures are at the bar or at a festival." And I was like, "Hey," but stuff like that. It's like, don't be. That wasn't. If he would, even if he would have said, "Do not match with me if all of your pictures are, you know, this or that." It doesn't have to be bar or festival. I'm gonna be like, okay, judgy, and no, automatically, even if you're hot or not. You know, it's like.
I will say, how do you feel about the guys that are super duper honest and they're like, "I'm gonna fuck up your life. Like, I'm gonna be the best you ever had."
Those are so annoying. Those are pick me boys, and I want nothing to do with it.
And most of the time, they're the biggest like wimps.
Yes, they have the biggest insecurities, and I think that is just so shit to do.
And the biggest red flag.
Oh my
fuck
god.
up your life, blah blah. Okay, yeah, right.
You wish. You
Try.
wish you were
Please
that
try.
good.
I honestly personally would never match with somebody like that, but I feel like they probably get a lot of matches from girls who are just as pick me.
I would say
toxic,
girls
crazy.
who want, douchebags. If you want a douchebag and you want to fix someone or change someone, then I could probably see myself younger being that person and being like, you know what, I'm gonna change him. I can do it. It'll be me. It'll be me. Pick me girl. I can do it and accept the challenge, because I used to be in that mentality for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think for prompts, it's really important to have one funny one, like icebreaker, make a joke, maybe ask a question that's funny that a girl would reply to. One about what you're looking for, and then something about you. I think it's super attractive when guys actually have like real hobbies and like stuff that they do like out in the world that's not just like inside the house all the time. I feel like that's like a really like well-rounded person. So if you're not somebody that has hobbies and goes outside, maybe like pick up something new, get a couple pictures you got on the trail hiking or something.
Just go on one little hike and take a few pictures.
You know, because you can be like, I like hiking, but I only do it every once in a while.
Yeah, or
and
like
that's fair.
open to new things.
Yeah.
Because like for some people they just like don't like going outside, but to every guy who doesn't like going outside, there's also a girl who doesn't like to go outside. So I feel like as long as you're like open to like what your hobbies are, but then saying like, this is what I do, but I'm open to trying new things. That's a turn on, or like a green flag is like, I don't do a lot, but I'm open to new things. And like, I have been with people that like, they don't go outside and they don't do anything, and then they're not open to like, do you want to go to the gym with me, or do you want to try things? They're like, no, I'm good, I'm gonna stay home. And same with girls who like don't want to try with their boyfriend's hobbies. So I feel like as long as people are open and it's like, you know what, I've never tried kayaking, let's go do it, or I've never like gone hiking, let's go do it. And like a yes kind of guy, that I like that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's things like I've thought about doing that I would never do on my own. You know, like a bit more adventurous stuff. So if that is somebody's hobby, like, you know, we live like in a beach town, so it's like if they surf or they go like on the river and they wakeboard or they do whatever, I would love to try those kind of things, but I'm not gonna go by myself to do that. So it would be, like I'm alone, like, you know, trying to figure this out. So if it's something like, even that they can teach me, cool. But
I think that's a good point. Like if you don't have a good like about you things that you enjoy doing, just saying like, these are all the things that I want to try that I've never tried before. And I think that's a good like caveat to that. Okay, so as far as like messaging goes, like once I'm gonna kill you guys. We have a studio audience over here. It's a bunch of men who really need help with their dating lives. They are all three single. They're all three single.
Happily.
Newly.
Newly, okay, by choice, got
Right,
it.
by
They're just cracking jokes in the corner about how awesome we are.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about messages. Like, personally, like I want to be messaged first, but also like if you message me first and it's not the right thing to say, I'm like, ick, unmatched, which is rude. But okay, like if off the bat a guy like leads with like, let me come over and eat you out, I'm like, unmatched.
Oh my god, I had a guy message me the other night at 2:30 in the morning, come over and swim. I would I'm in bed.
Whoa.
I am asleep. I'm
peace.
not gonna be coming over to wherever the hell you live at 2:30 in the morning to come swim.
Swim?
Like that's
Okay,
weird.
at least you didn't like be like, hey, come fuck. Like at least you wanted to
well,
do
that's
that
that
too.
too,
Yes,
but,
you
like-
can date at 2 a.m. That's not okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if he really wanted to swim.
Yeah.
No, he wanted to swim somewhere.
He wanted to
but
swim.
there
Yeah,
was
it wasn't in a pool. I show up, there's no pool.
He's
It's like,
he's like, so
You're in like your bathing
legs.
suit and everything.
my
Like,
bathing suit. I'm like, hey, where's the pool?
That is so
Like
funny.
goggles on.
I would personally, I'm just a very bold individual, so I would say this is not for most women. I'll speak for the few people who like to take initiative. I don't know, I'm just very impatient and I like to take things into my own hands and like I don't like sitting around and like waiting for people to message me because if I think you're cute, I'm gonna freaking DM you or I'm gonna DM. I mean that too, but
DM you.
I'm gonna like see you out. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna message people first. So I usually try to like go off one of their prompts. So if it's like rounds on me, if you can beat me to play a game of pool, and I'd be like, when and where, when and where. Let's do it.
I'm
like,
the exact opposite
Yeah, we
of
are-
how Olivia
Yeah.
is. Because if you come at me like the very first message, like, hey, I'd love to take you out sometime, like, do you want to meet up here? That can be the best way to ask somebody on a date, but I don't want you to ask me that off the bat. Like, I want to know, like,
Oh, I'm
I want to
so
talk to you for
I
like a
like
week.
you.
Oh,
No,
I guess
I want to
can
talk to
handle
somebody
you.
literally for like a week because not only is it like unsafe for a lot of women, like they're nervous to meet up. Like it's you know you can meet up in public and still get kidnapped, raped,
Yeah,
like all of those
100%.
things.
Oh yeah.
So like if you talk to somebody for a week and like they're pretty cool and like you go meet up somewhere public, it's like a little more comfortable for me. But I also
Yeah.
like really hate first dates. So like I hate when people ask me off the bat.
know,
I
We're
am
totally
the
the
same.
opposite.
I'm not.
Oh, wait,
I'm not
because
a
I'm so
date
different.
girl. My dream would be to like have somebody come meet me out like when I'm with my friends. Two birds, one stone. I meet you, my friends meet you. I get to make my opinion, and then I get the feedback from my friends.
Yeah,
too.
that's actually what I started doing like more recently because I'm just like, I don't want to waste your money and waste my time on you taking me out to dinner if like we're just not gonna vibe.
Right.
And like I'm also somebody who's like social and I do like to go out. So if you can like meet me at the bar and we can like have a good conversation, my friends are there. Obviously I'm gonna be safe because we're out in public.
Right.
And then you know like we all hit it off and we have a great night, then cool. But also if you don't hit it off and it's really awkward, you can be like, hey, me and my friends are going to another bar.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Dip.
You know.
And also, like, he's gonna have to meet the friend group eventually, and
Yeah.
we're together all the time.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
might as
Hey,
well.
we love each other, okay?
We might as well just two birds, one
Dude,
stone.
me and
like,
Olivia
in
have
that
gotten
way.
so much shit for this.
Oh
Literally
my.
so much shit. All these guys over here can tell you. Because every
Meet
night
my
we're
friend.
out. Hey,
Meet
this
my
is my friend. Insert name here.
I'm meet my friend Olivia. So, you know. But I don't know. I'm just like the opposite. Like I love dates and I love being a little bit more personable. And so I would not completely rule out to the men out there like the messages that I've gotten that are like, let's go on a date, and I'm like, when and where, and then they plan it, they pick the time and
Yeah.
everything. Then I am like, I'm not on my phone. I am not really. I don't like texting. I don't like calling. I just like being with my friends, and I'm usually with people, so I'm usually not on my phone. And so I like a guy who takes initiative and is like, I never let them pick me up. I always meet them out.
Yeah.
I tell my friends where I'm at, where I'm going, when I'm going, send my location, like multiple people on my location, and I'm like, I send a picture of the guy and what they're supposed to look like, and
Supposed to
yeah,
look
what they're
like.
supposed, literally, what they're
What
supposed
they're
to
saying that they look like.
yeah, and I'm like, here are all the details. I'm going on this date. We're going to this restaurant. It's
Yeah.
the middle of the day. And then, like, a few times, like, the date has gone really well, and then my friends will be out, and then I'll be like, hey, like, do you want to come out with me?
Yeah.
And then other times, because it's like, for me, it's like, you may talk to a guy for a week, but they could be fake.
Yeah.
You know, it goes both
Yeah,
ways, because
it
it's
could.
like, and I just rather get it over with, go on a date, meet them, and then when the date's over, I'm just like, thank you so much for the date. This either went really well and I want to see you again, or, you know, this really isn't working out for me, but you were a great guy and I had a great time. So, like,
Yeah.
but I just am, like, quick, and I was, you know, going on, like, 2 to 3 dates a week.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I forget
Listen,
that.
girl.
Yeah, she didn't
Hey,
get paid for.
She never had to pay. She never had to go to public.
But I was broke, okay? I was broke, and I really was determined to find a boyfriend.
Yes.
Well, it
So,
worked.
And
it
also-
worked. And they were all friends. We made friends.
Yeah,
with
no,
most of
and
them.
we still hang out with some of them now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're really cool. So I,
Except for a few. Anyways.
so I would say, like, if you're a guy and you ask a girl on a date on a dating app and she says no or she makes an excuse for the first time, that doesn't mean no forever. I think
Yes,
girls,
yeah.
like, some girls do want to take a little bit longer to, like, get to know you. Because it can be just like a little awkward for some people to just like off the bat like not know anything about you and meet up. I think the more like you talk and get comfortable like over text message or like FaceTime if you're like into that thing. Like
Yeah,
I'm not,
that's a good
but
one.
you know you can always like FaceTime and like get more comfortable and then ask a girl on a date. Just because I think a lot of girls like off the bat kind of are like.
It is a little sus, I will say. Like, sometimes you have to be very confident and, like, secure before you go. And then, like, before when I wasn't going on dates, FaceTime's a really good one. Or, like, I mean, I don't know about Androids. Zoom, that's a little...
Not the Android.
Or there's... I don't know.
I don't know what you Android people do.
I put on my suit. I sit down for a Zoom meeting. I'm
I'm
like,
Zooming in
hello,
5 minutes.
you're here to
Yeah.
interview me.
I'm sorry. Instagram video.
My friends have also said like a coffee date first.
Those are cute. Those are
Because
cute.
Yes.
it's short.
Yeah.
You're not having
Very
to
quick.
sit through a
Yeah.
dinner.
Yes.
You're not having to sit through, you know, or a drink. Hey, we
Yeah.
can go out and grab a drink. And
Yeah.
then that way, like, the line's drawn, we'll go get coffee or a drink.
That's a good
And
first
then you
step,
can
too.
kind of get out.
Yeah, but I hate dates. So besides the bar thing, if it's the weekend and a guy wants to hang out, then cool. But if not, I think you can go like take a walk on the beach too.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
really nice. Get a smoothie, like get a coffee, like something that's gonna be kind of quick. So like if it doesn't work out, then you're like.
You can
But
go.
if it does work out, you
Then
know,
you can
then like you know, be like, hey, I'll meet up with you later. We can get dinner.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to end there that day.
Yeah.
If you like feel bad, you only hung out for like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So I have a few things here, absolute like not things to do, and you guys chime in if you have any of those. So we talked about like lying on your profile, no smoke and mirrors, all of that. You want to be like who you are on there, please. Instead of just like messaging a girl saying hi, hey, how are you, what's up, come with something that's like creative, cool, funny. Literally Google pickup lines, anything, just
Yeah.
not cheesy, weird, gross dad ones, please.
Oh my god, no.
The amount.
I say like don't get on apps just to smash. Like if you're just trying to hook up,
Go to Tinder.
go to Tinder.
Go to Tinder.
Go to Tinder.
Bars.
They
Go
are
to
all
bars.
there in
Go
one
to
place.
the bar
Yeah.
on a
The
Saturday
bars. The
at
bars on
midnight.
Saturdays.
I'm sure you can pick somebody up.
At 2
You actually have a question.
I have a question. What is it?
It says, what if you meet them the old school way in person and not on dating apps? How do you see that?
What?
Like, how do you ask them on a date?
Like, how do you see a guy
Oh, like
hitting
I'm
you
at a
in
coffee
person?
shop and he comes up.
Yeah. Or a
Oh,
bar or
those are good.
somewhere.
I love when men approach me because it's very unlikely.
That look is so ugly. She
Yeah,
knows
no,
it's
That's really unlikely that Liv ever gets ripped.
I don't know, men. Just like don't approach me. You know this.
It's because we're the loud girls screaming
We're
in the
loud.
bar.
Yeah,
We're like, yeah!
Like, come talk to me.
Talk to me, please. Come talk to me.
The most approachable group.
We're not at all, and
And we're all in a circle.
we're never like single or like out like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're
And
it's
even if we're
hard.
getting a drink, there's like
Groups
one
of
person
us.
getting a drink and then like 7 people behind.
Yeah.
I literally have guys message me on Instagram and they're like, I've always wanted to come say hi to you, but you're always with all your friends.
Oh my
Yes.
I'm like,
God.
give me a pussy.
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
up?
Like come on. We don't bite.
I'm so nice.
We
and
just
say,
bark
hey.
I would have
Sometimes.
responded and been like, they're in my DMs and I'm with all my friends right now.
Okay, but
Okay, but
if a
the
guy
question.
approaches you,
Yes.
If a guy approaches you, okay, well,
Well, number one, are
one-
you single?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Well,
You
you better be
are
single.
you open to having this conversation?
You better be single for starters.
No, you should. The guy should ask the girl that because
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
off the bat, if you like come up and you're trying to shoot your shot,
Well,
and the girl's
actually-
like blowing you off, I'd say like, hey, are you single?
I don't know because some girls will lie and say they're single. I think there's like a way to go about because like
True.
when a guy approaches me, I think what's best because especially if I'm like because guys can be a little a man approaches me, I'm like first out I'm like what is this? What's
Yeah,
going on?
I'm like, what's he trying to
like
do?
what is your what is your angle? What is your initiative here? And I think when they come up and it's something very nice and respectful, like, hey, I hate to bother you, but I really just want to say that, like, you have really beautiful eyes and I saw you. And then it's like, I don't know, some girls don't like that. I do because it's like, it's just very nice. I'm like, oh, thank you so much, and like,
That's our friend.
you don't like that approach?
I don't like when guys come up and it's very like they're hitting on you, they're talking about your looks. Like I feel like it's a little aggressive personally. I mean, like a lot of people know me in Jacksonville, so when somebody comes up and they're like, "Hey, like I think I'm friends with your friends," that for me, honestly, even if it's a lie, it still always gets me every single time. So I'm like, "Oh, hey, like we must have met before," you know? It's like one of those. But like, if you don't want to compliment a girl, like based on her looks, and you don't know like any of her friends, I think you could like, just like.
See, that's why it's harder. That's why I like the eyes, because I personally think eyes are very mesmerizing. Like I love people's eyes. I can look at someone and I can see a lot of things, a lot in their eyes, and they have beautiful eyes, and everyone, even brown eyes, black eyes, like all eyes. I think all eyes are just gorgeous. So when someone comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, I just saw you and I think your eyes are so beautiful and I just wanted to come say hi and introduce myself," then I'm also very open and I'm very nice, and I'm just like, "Oh, and if I'm not interested, I just say thank you so much and like kind of move on from the conversation. If I am interested, or they kind of keep the conversation going. I think the one question that I hate is like, "So are you from here?" Are you from
That's
here?
too personal. That's too
I'm
personal.
just like,
you know what's really cheesy is like, do you come here often?
oh my god.
Okay, but I kind of like it.
I do. It's like, yes, I do.
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
I do.
actually here all the time.
It's
Or
one of
like,
my
have I
favorite
seen you here
places.
before?
One of my favorite places.
What if it's have I seen you here
Yeah,
before?
if it's somewhere you go often,
Yeah.
and like you can say that.
I think have I seen you before
Have I seen
is
you
a
here
good one,
before?
because
That's
even
easy.
if it's no,
Yeah.
then like, oh, I'm sorry, there must have been a girl that looks just like you, but I thought I would say hi and introduce myself. I am so and so, and then it's like, okay, my name's Olivia, like, and then let the girl kind of engage the conversation from there. If the girl engages conversation, I think that's a good sign. If they're kind of like, I'm Olivia.
Oh, the number one thing though not to do if you are going to approach a girl, just do it. Do not
Oh my god.
linger around her and her friend group all night.
Oh my god.
Stare, like, you know, the one thing that I think that girls are different with being out in public, no matter if you're at the bar, at the grocery store, walking down the street, I do not care. Girls are way more observant of their surroundings because we're always on guard.
Yeah.
So we are gonna notice you
Yeah.
just standing there staring.
Yeah.
If you're gonna approach off the bat, don't just linger around.
You can also feel people's eyes on you.
Yes.
I'm very like, oh, who's staring at me?
Who's
Who's
looking
watching
at
me? Like, you know.
It was so funny. Actually, I have a funny story about this. Like a couple months ago, there was this guy. We're like out at the bar. It's like a casual Sunday. We're like sitting outside having a drink, and this guy was wearing like a really cool outfit. He looked like a model. Like looked super awesome. And I was like, hey, I like your outfit. And he's like, thank you. And then like didn't come over or say anything or whatever. He just sat and stared at me talking to my friends for about 30 minutes. And I felt awkward, so I got up and I turned around, so like my back was to him.
Yeah.
And then I turn around like 30 minutes later and realize he's like standing here hovering
Oh my
over
gosh.
me for like the past 30 minutes. And I turned around, I was like scared
Hi.
the shit out of me. But like he didn't say anything. He literally stared at me for an hour. And I was like, hey, like, are you good? Like, it was kind of weird. And then I realized he didn't really speak like full English, so I think he just like didn't know what to say. But
I remember this guy.
But
It was
staring,
weird.
still staring. There's just like
don't do the staring.
Don't stare. Please don't
Don't do
stare.
the staring.
I've also been out like on a Sunday, like sitting at the bar getting a drink, whatever. A guy's come up to me and been like, hey, how are you? Started to talk, whatever. I leave because I'll get up and just leave. Like, I don't really care. I went back to get another drink. He's still sitting there by himself. I'm like, wait, are you out by yourself? And he's like, yeah. I was like, that's cool. That's really cool that you can do that. You know, hope you're having a good night. And he's like, well, are you going anywhere? Like after this? I'm like, yeah, we'll probably go, you know, to a different bar, blah, blah. I show up to that bar and he's sitting there. And I'm like, I don't remember inviting him.
Did he talk to you though? Did you try to talk to
He
you?
just sat in the corner and stared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the point of this? What are we
I
achieving?
mean, I know that like guys' confidence, it's tough for them to have to approach all the time. Like if we had to approach all the time, you know, like we have a lot of confidence, and that's still like hard to get like rejected over and over again. I do think if it's something that like you have a problem with, like just go up to a girl and just be pretty sure that you're gonna get rejected.
Yeah.
Just expect that.
I would say the more you do it,
Yeah.
the more you get rejected, and like the more confidence you get.
Yeah.
Because like, what is the worst that is gonna happen? A girl says no to you.
Yeah.
Move on.
I like
next.
to say, what's the best that could happen?
Yeah.
Because what if you never shot your shot and then that could have been your wife?
Oh yeah,
You know?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so next topic is kind of like first dates. So like you did all this work on your dating app, like you're treating it like your part-time job. You're on it every single day.
You met
You're
someone
talking
in
to all these
person.
girls. So now you have your first date. So I think once like you're in and you know you're gonna have your first date, kind of what Olivia was saying earlier, definitely like maybe ask her what her like 2 favorite kinds of foods are, so you can kind of narrow it down. Because obviously, like if you're taking a vegan to a steak restaurant, it's kind of awkward if you say, hey, I'm just gonna pick you up, we're gonna go somewhere, it's a surprise. If you don't really know enough about her, then that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
So you can always be like, hey, like what kind of food do you like? Are you available this time, this, and then pick a restaurant. I think that's cool to just like take initiative and like jump in and not have to be like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I think that's so annoying.
But
And
also
I do not
like,
have to plan anything.
No,
yeah,
I don't either.
girls already have to spend so much time like getting ready, picking the outfit,
Just tell me
like
where it's
doing their
gonna be,
hair,
yeah.
doing their makeup, like driving there because it's a little bit weird to
You
get
have
picked
to
up
get
on
in
the
the
first
shower
date.
and throw on a shirt.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Pick a
Yeah,
shirt.
so pick the restaurant. Make a reservation. Nobody wants to
Oh
wait.
please, top. When a guy, oh my god, oh my gosh, I hate. There's nothing more awkward than going to the first date and you have to wait 30 minutes.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. Or it being like,
Well,
oh,
'cause then
like,
you're like standing there awkward.
you're just like, oh
Like,
hi, hey.
If it does happen, go to the bar and get a drink. Because
Yeah.
after that first drink, the conversation's going to be so much
Yeah.
easier. Yeah. So if you don't want to do a food date, I think other types of dates are really fun for like a first date. If a guy like took me on a beach picnic for the first date,
Cute.
I would think that'd be the cutest thing in the fucking world.
I agree.
Because that's a lot of planning. Like you had to go grocery shopping, you had to pick out all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
you had to plan it. I'm sure you didn't have a picnic basket when you
Yeah.
came into this. Like you
Yeah.
had to go find one. Stuff like that. That's
his
like a
thing.
little bit
He has
extra
a picnic
effort.
basket
Yeah,
in
wait.
his garage.
You know what's also really cute? Oh my
He
God,
does every girl's picnics. I'm gonna get the picnic
Everyone.
guy. Every single meal's gonna be at a picnic from now on. I get no dinners.
No. What's really cute, one of my best dates that I ever went on was actually a guy who lived in Jacksonville when I still lived in Gainesville. And this was a little sketch because I drove all the way to his house here in Jacksonville. I will say, girls, don't do
2
that.
hours.
Yikes.
Well, it was like an hour and a half. I sent my friend my location, I did all the things, and I think we had like talked on the phone or something. And I, I'm very confident in my kick-ass abilities, so to beat someone else. So, he took me. I'm ready to fight. Anyways, but I got the jump. So no, I'm not gonna flex.
Flex.
You
Olivia
know.
flex.
Oh my god! Oh my
Let's
god!
see it.
Bodyguard status.
Yes, yes.
Olivia goes to gym 5 days a week.
Yes, so
Very
I'm ready to
impressive.
throw down anytime. No, the cutest day I've ever gone on to this day was the guy in Jacksonville who lived here, and he actually like rented or had a bike. And I got in his car and we drove to the trails around here, and we had a little bike and a little speaker, and we went biking down like a really nice trail. And then we like walked a little path, and it was like next to the water, and we like hung out, and then we went to a restaurant. No, it was literally the best thing I've ever
never
been on.
happened.
Perfect kidnap story.
Yeah, it really is. It really
She
is.
drove 2 hours to a different city, and then he took her to the fucking woods.
It would have been a great way to go. Okay, I got a nice.
She had a
little-
great date and then got murdered.
Listen, okay, I had a great day. He ended in no, I'm just kidding. But no, it was like I
After
felt
I ran and escaped his house.
Yes, it was great. I just feel like if
Sucks
you
at making
feel
mouse.
comfortable enough to put yourself out there in that kind of
Yeah,
position,
yeah.
then I mean, we were in a public place. There was a lot of other bikers, and like I again had someone have my location and sent him the profile and like or my girls the profile. I had some friends who still lived here, but that was like one of the cutest dates I went on. Was like not going to a restaurant, and then we like went to. He was like he offered. He was like, "Do you want to go get food?" And then we went and got food. It was super cute.
Do you have any cute dates?
I'm not.
She's
a
not a
date,
date girl.
I'm not a date girl.
Okay, right. Okay, but Kai
I'm
dating
just
is
not.
fun.
But I can say like I went out on a date. This guy asked me on a Sunday, "Hey, do you want to go watch football?" I love to watch football. I can wear leggings. We can go to a sports
Dream
bar.
girl.
Dream
Dream
girl.
girl. Shut up. Let's watch football and go to a sports
I'm
bar.
like,
Fuck
but
yeah.
no, but there's like,
Yeah.
but then you can talk about the
You
game.
can.
Yeah,
You've got something
I
to
love
talk
that.
about.
You have
can
something to talk
drink,
about.
have a couple
Can we get box seats
appetizers.
at the Jag Stadium?
Like, yeah, like, you don't have box seats at the Denver Mine. We can't go do that. But no, like, we went up to like the sports bar a couple blocks from my house. So I was so close to home, so I felt really comfortable. Watched a football game, like had some drinks. You know, and I did that because I knew he was like a more shy and quiet guy, so it would give him something else to talk about too.
And and he's in an environment where he feels
He's
comfortable.
comfortable.
And most men like football or like a sport,
Yeah.
so I feel like that's very comfortable for like if you're a woman in like sports as well, I love watching like
And
going to
there's
like
also a time frame on it. The game's gonna end
Yeah.
eventually, and it's time
It's a
to
long
go.
time frame, but
But it's
Yeah.
but even if it could have been like, oh, I have to go at
Gotta go.
halftime. There's
Yeah.
a time frame on it.
got homework. So some other good ideas. Top golf. I don't know if like most cities I feel like at this point have like
Yeah.
top golf. It's like you go golf and it's like different stories and it's like it's not like real golfing course. I think that's super fun because like you take turns and there's also a time limit. You can set it for like an hour. An hour is honestly like a pretty long time. 2 hours you're gonna get tired golfing. But they serve food and stuff too, so that's like an easy one. Bowling. I feel like personally like I don't really like to bowl, but I feel like that's a cute one.
it can be fun for girls who do like bowling because
Yeah.
I feel like that's not very common anymore.
Yeah.
For anyone to go bowling. So I feel like you'd be like, you want to go bowling? Or just offer it as a question. Be like, do
Yeah.
you want to go bowling?
I feel like if you share hobbies like skating or something like that, like it'd be cute to go to like a skate park or a skating rink, ice skating.
Yeah. Oh, like for me,
something
like gym
that.
dates.
Gym dates.
Gym
yeah.
dates.
You guys love
I
gym
love my
dates.
gym dates.
Gym date.
I do.
You're a gym day girl.
But yeah, I think no pressure dates are really like the easiest because if somebody wants to go take me to like a fancy restaurant for a first date, I feel like there's so much pressure on it.
It can
And
be.
it's kind of just like I'm more nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what fork goes in the right spot, and my elbows are on the table.
Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
my mom has always said to me specifically, do not ever go out to eat on a first date because it's a sight.
Hi mom, I know she's
But
watching.
also my mom,
Hi,
I know you're in here.
Hi,
But she's like, do not go out to dinner on a first date. She was like, just save yourself that one. Because I mean, God, I did like etiquette things. She put me in etiquette classes in junior high, and I
love
still,
that.
Guys
But
love
you
girls
just,
who
you're
can
just
eat.
like
I
you're
still
just
don't.
chowing
No,
down.
I'm just
love girls
awkward.
who
I'm
eat.
just awkward.
No.
Okay.
No. Men love when I can throw down some wings. They're like, whoa. Men love women who can eat.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that. I love
Just
that.
saying.
Proper napkin.
I'm just like,
Have you guys ever
Yeah.
looked up a male on like the public defender's website to see if he has any?
Ooh, that's good.
I always do
our,
a
our
search.
producer John over here in the corner. He said looking up your date on the offender, sex
Public
offender,
offenders,
public
fucking-
offender.
there's a public sex offender
Felons,
website.
all
If you're
that.
looking up a dude's name on the sex offender list, you should probably just call it right there.
It depends on how old you are, though. Like if you're an 18-year-old
No.
girl and you're on dating apps, like I don't know,
yeah.
maybe.
I will
No, I think
always.
it's
I don't know.
no, it's a good idea. This one
Yeah.
girl, she was talking to this guy. They hit it off a lot, and then one of her friends actually told her, to like, "Hey, do you know that he's actually like a sex offender?" And she was like, "Wait, what?" And she didn't know. And then she looked him up, and she was like, "Why didn't you?" Or she was like, "Is this true?" And he was like. And then literally she's like, okay, bye. But he like had no red flags. No red flags.
No, I will always Google. I will always
Yeah.
Google. If at all necessary, run background check. I mean, I have somebody that'll do that for free, so I will run
Run
a
a
background
love
check
that.
while you're at it.
I gotta start doing that.
It's worth it.
Okay, so I feel like so maybe like you have a date and it's absolutely amazing, and you'll know if it is or not. But if you're at all like not sure if she wants to see you again, I would say like don't kiss on the first date if you don't know how she feels, because like there's nothing more awkward than a guy like leaning in randomly and
You're like,
you've had no connection and you're kind of just like
pull to the side.
how do you
I
feel
feel like
about
that's a tricky one because I've gone on a date and not kissed him at the end, and I think it's just kind of nice. It's like, oh wait, he didn't like kiss me, and then I kind of like want him to kiss me. But then also, if it's going really well, then I want that kiss because you can tell a lot by the way someone kisses you.
Yeah, you always say
can
that.
I do. It's so important.
She'll go on like 3 dates with a guy and then finally kiss him and be like, it sucked.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I am like, kiss immediately. First thing, because I'm so serious. I don't care.
She's like walking the date smooth.
Yeah, let's make that really quick.
We
and
have a
I'll
story
tell-
about this at the end. We have a
Which
story
one?
about
Oh
this.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, there's a story.
At the end.
Oh,
at the
at the end. No,
At the end,
I just feel like there's a lot to tell from a kiss. So you have to make your own judgment and like feel and like read her body language. If she's like closed off like this or like not very open and not very chatty, then like I
Yeah.
would definitely say like don't try to kiss her. Like don't
Body
make her more
language.
uncomfortable.
Body language.
But
for
if
sure.
she's kind of like leaning in and maybe like touching you, and,
Yeah.
like,
If she touches you,
like
if
if
she
she touches you at all,
yeah.
And she
Yes,
literally
yes.
even so
Just
much
like-
as like
yeah.
like oh,
like
Touch barrier is like big.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
once the touch barrier is broken, I feel like that's a sign like
that's a good.
well, you like somebody.
Yeah.
Unless they're just trying to carry the whole day and make it
Yeah.
not awkward. But
Yeah.
you know.
Usually
I
people
think
won't
it's-
touch though.
I think it's definitely like female led. Like if she's throwing you, and she will throw you very, very hard hits, like a touch or a whatever. So I promise you, if I'm not into somebody, I'm not gonna be like touching their leg or touching their shoulder or whatever. I'm keeping my personal space. So I think it's definitely like a female led thing.
Yeah, I would say read the signs, read the room,
Read the
read the
room, read the vibe.
You know, and then go for it, because kids can say a lot.
So let's say you do kiss and you're having a great time. Maybe refrain from doing anything sexual on the first date, because I think it maybe just shows like your intentions being one way. And like obviously if you're like trying to hook up and that's all you want, and you made it very clear to her before you even went on the date that you're just looking to have fun, then that's different. But like if you led with the fact that you're trying to be in a relationship and like you're looking for something serious, I think like trying to initiate like anything sexual is kind of just like, how seriously are you really taking it? Like, I feel like girls then think, like, oh, is he just trying to use me? Is he lying about being in a relationship? Like, how do you still love that?
My biggest ick, which I just got right now, just thinking of this, is like...
it just came to me.
It just came to me, and I was like, ugh. I hate when, like, a date's going really well, and then it just maybe me, but people invite me back to their place immediately, because I'm like, they already know. I just already know. Like, I feel like if we're on a dinner date or we're doing this and you want to hang out with me more, be like, hey, like, I really enjoy hanging out with you. Do you want to do something else? Like, let's go somewhere else. Let's go to the beach. Let's go for a walk. Let's go get coffee.
There's
like,
so many other things.
When a guy is like, do you want to come back to my place and like hang out for a little bit? I'm like,
watch,
you know
watch
what?
a movie.
No, I gotta go.
Swimming.
Yeah, go swimming at 2:30 a.m. I gotta go. And I would also say read the room, because I feel like there are some women who are more sexually active, or like, you know, they have those urges and I know girls who want to fuck on the first date. Like, they want to.
Yeah.
And so, like, but I would say, again, let the women lead and be like, if she says, like, hey, I want to go back to your place, lead with that. But don't be like, do you want to come back to my place?
What side are you on?
Yeah.
I'm 50-50, only because I've had relationships where we have had sex on the first date and it's ended up being totally fine.
Yeah.
And I have friends that literally, they're like,
yeah,
I had sex on the first date and we're married now.
Yeah.
So it worked, you know?
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, like, the sex is not going to dictate the way that the relationship goes. It's going to be the person and the connection, and you should be able to tell after one date with a guy, you're going to be able to tell if they're actually interested in seriously pursuing dating, or if they're just a fuckboy and they're just trying to
I don't believe that. You should hear the stories that I
read.
I do not believe in that.
Me on dating apps, like, I'm really honest about like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a relationship in the next 5 years. Like, I want to get married, I want to have kids, all of that. And this guy like knew that, and he was older than me, and it was kind of on the same path. We had a really great first date, and I drove to his house to pick him up to go to a restaurant that was like right nearby. It's funny, I picked him up on the date, but I didn't want. It was just convenience. He lived closer. It made more sense. I didn't want him to get in his car and then
drive
whatever. So it's like, I'll drive. It's fine. So we go through a whole day, great day, had an awesome time, had a few drinks in us, and we go to get back. He's like, do you want to come inside? I'm like, no, like, next time we like hang out or whatever, like, I'll come over. And he's like, you're not going to come inside my house? Yeah. And I was like, I didn't plan on it. And he literally got mad. He's like, okay, got out and slammed the door. And then I didn't hear from him, like, after that. And I was like, what?
Like, whoa.
You're mad at me because I want to come. Like, he's like, I just want you to see it. And I'm like, maybe he's really proud of his house. Like, I know he did, like, a lot of renovations and stuff on it. But, like, you could have led with, like, hey, like, I know you're into, like, interior design.
Right.
And you
you
renovate houses. Do you want to come see, like, all the work that I've done on it? Just walk through really quick. That's completely different than, like, do you want to go hang out inside? Like, like, I think there's a way you word things. And then, obviously, like, you should not get upset if the girl doesn't kiss you on the first date, she doesn't do anything with you on the first date. Like, that's just immature. You're just probably not going to be on the same page as them. Okay, so we'll go into the bad dates stories, if you have any. I personally don't have a ton of bad date stories. That one was like one of the more shocking ones. Yeah. Olivia?
I also have been very fortunate to have a lot of good first dates as well. But I will say, like you were saying, men who get rejected or men who get very emotional or upset when you don't kiss them or don't have sex with them or I don't know, fully make yourself exclusive to them even though you went on one date. So my story is...
She's like, not talking from experience
or anything.
Not talking from experience or
anything.
Friend of a friend.
Olivia was openly dating not anybody exclusively. She would go
Yes.
out, have fun.
Not
like,
sleeping with anyone.
Not sleeping with anybody.
And no, like, people weren't really coming back to my house at all. Like, I was very just like, and I would tell people, like, I'm dating, I'm getting to know people until someone kind of proved themselves to me. That was kind of where I was at. I was going on 2 to 3 dates a week, really trying to meet people and just, like, get myself out there. And because I'd never dated before, ever. Like, I'd always, like, been in a relationship and whatever. And so I met this guy at the bar. And it was funny because me and Danielle were like, oh, is he cute? I can't tell. So we took a piece of ice, and we threw it at him, and he was super tall. And and then after that, we went on one date. I said, you know what, let me start saying yes to these guys who, even though I may not know, I want to be open because just because it may not be there the first time, it could be there. Because I thought he was like slightly, pretty cute. He was tall, like, he, fit. So I was like, you know what, I don't fully feel it yet, but let me go on a date.
Yeah.
So, go on a date. He's super nice, like, very gentleman-like, like, opens doors, very old school, like, very respectful, seemingly. And
Seemingly.
Yeah, and I just still couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
But I was like, is it me or is it him? Like, is it just me being closed off and, like, not being very open, or is there something wrong with, like, us? Like, this isn't working. So I was like, let me just still be more open and, like, talk to him and get to know him more. And he was very forward as well, which is a little too forward for me, in wanting to see me in any way. So eventually he just kept pushing to see me, and I think I don't think we went on another date. Just the one date, but we saw each other out. Or something like that. And then he would be like, I want to come over tonight. And I was like, oh, like, not tonight. Like, I didn't feel comfortable with that, and someone being in my space. So I said no to that, and then he got like a little frustrated because I kept turning him down. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just not looking to jump in anything right now. Like, I just want to take a step back from this. And anyway, so then we see him at the bars again. And I'm not talking to anyone all night. And then I see this guy at the bar. And he is like, this light is beaming on him. And I am like, wow, he is so cute.
Olivia was hitting it off so hard with this man.
Oh,
and they were like getting close and like talking.
It was
very
I know.
It very like,
Oh
it's
my
very
God.
rare that you meet somebody in the bar and like, and you just like hit it off. And I walk over to her and I grab the back of both of their heads.
She's like,
and I'm like, make out,
and
make out.
Me,
because I'm yelling in the bar.
Yeah, and me, I like to make out. So I am like, say less. So we start making out, and the guy is standing right there. Like, me and the guy making out with her here, and he is like right there, like staring at me,
as they do,
staring at me, and I didn't see him. And then I'm out. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine, whatever. And then I get a text message, and it was like, don't ever talk to me again.
Okay.
And I was like, what? And he was like, you're a piece of work. And I was like, I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, yeah, next time you want to face fuck in front of me, like, at least be, like, respectful about it. Or, like,
you know what? I have a similar story.
It's probably the same guy. Probably the same guy.
Was he a firefighter?
No. Oh my God, yeah, he was a firefighter. And he literally just starts going off on me and, like, saying, like, you're face fucking, you're, like, disrespectful, like, I would assume, like, you would have a little bit of respect for me, and, like, you lost the best things that's ever gonna happen to you.
After one date.
And after one date, and
They
I
didn't kiss.
didn't.
Nothing.
No
That's
kissing.
gonna happen to you.
No kissing, no nothing. And I literally just texted him, and I was like, you know what? I'm really sorry that I hurt you, but we are not exclusive. You're not my boyfriend, and we also only went on one date, so you're the one being disrespectful for, like, coming at me like this.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you see me out, just know you won't, or don't expect a friendly face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait, and then Danielle, we see him out again. And this girl.
After you're so rude and said all that stuff, like,
You're
that's
so
totally,
rude.
You should never do that to a girl. If you see her making out with another guy and like, maybe you even
losses.
went on a couple losses, be a
on.
bigger man, just be like, fuck it, fuck her, fuck that.
Delete her number,
But like
don't
telling
talk to
somebody
her
they're shitty
again.
and all that's not it. So we saw him at the bar and like how she like picked him up, we threw the piece of ice at him and he like turned around. So I reached in my glass and across the bar I threw it and hit him right in the back of the head and he turned around and I was like,
Yeah, it was so funny. Yeah, so guys, just like don't do that. Like, again, just take your losses, or if you did really like the girl, you can message her and try again. Try, depending on, again, the situation, like if the date went bad or the date went good. But I feel like if you do see a girls don't owe you anything. If we go on one date, you're not my boyfriend. Like, that's just not it. So,
What's your story?
Kind of the same thing, except I never had even gone on a date with this man. I had met him out. We'd been Snapchatting a little bit here and there, and then I was out on a Sunday, didn't even see him. I mean, in God, still right now, I'm like trying to think of his name and I can't. I'm just so bad. It's just like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And then, so I never saw him out. I never saw him at the bar. I had no idea he was there, nor would it have mattered if he was, because we had never been out on a date.
Yeah.
We met, we had talked, he bought me a drink, we were Snapchatting back and forth. He never even initiated wanting to go on a date. So I'm like,
not
into it. Fine. I guess I pecked somebody, like kissed somebody, not even a makeout, whatever, walked away, doing my thing. I get a Snapchat message. And you're just one of those girls that's out at the bars every weekend kissing everybody, then you ain't for me. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not for you then. Like, what? Like, what do you want me to say?
Men are possessive, like
how
naturally.
do you even expect somebody to respond? Like, are you looking for an argument?
Boys.
Yeah.
Or,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
like, I'm so sorry that I did that after I didn't see you, had no idea you were there.
Yeah.
If you
Never
saw
asked me to
me,
date.
why did you not come approach me at the bar? If you saw me out, I didn't see you.
Yeah, no, that's awkward, awful. Guys are possessive naturally, and like it can be good sometimes. Like if you want your girl, like you're all about her, you want her to be about you. But like really early on, definitely not that.
No.
Personally, I like super vet people. I'll talk to somebody for like a week or two before I go on a date with them. So like if I'm not even comfortable talking, like I usually like won't go on a date, and like I haven't had a lot of bad dates. But I will say there have been some that, you know, the first conversation I had, they made me laugh, whatever. I agreed to go on a date probably earlier than I figured out if I liked them or not. And then, like, you know, to avoid it being awkward, I just, like, I'm super nice. I talk, we have a great time, we laugh, we, you know, drink, we whatever. And then it's, like, when I don't talk to them anymore or, like, I want to cut things off, they're like, oh, like, I thought you, like, really liked me. They kind of feel, like, let on in a way because, like, I carried the whole date and was, like, really nice. And, like, I'm always like, hey, you know, I didn't have the same feelings, like we could just be friends, like you're really awesome, and like my whole friend group's like really cool if you ever want to come hang out. And I have made good friends that way. But I think it is tough to be a woman and like you go on a date and maybe you're not really like feeling it, to like get away from like them not being possessive like that, or you not just cutting off the date in the middle of it and being like, hey, sorry, like, you know, because like it'd be really rude if we're like in the middle of dinner or something and I'm just like, hey, I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna go.
It is rude.
But it's so like I always try to be like nice and at least make it through the day.
Yeah, and then you're drawing a fine line. Like if things are awkward and maybe the guy's kind of a little uncomfortable or whatever, y'all aren't vibing, well, the girl's always gonna try and carry it. But then you have to then think, okay, well, then I'm gonna have to like let them down if they thought like, oh, this was really good, and then it wasn't. But that's still not a reason for anybody to come back being acting crazy.
No, I definitely say don't be possessive, and you know.
Is there any questions?
No, you're good. I would say like my number one thing is transparency. Like if you don't know, ask. If you're unsure, ask. If you don't know if she likes you, ask. Or just be transparent about your feelings, and then don't be upset by someone else's feelings. Like if a guy is like, hey, I really like you, or like, hey, I like you, I want to see you, and I'm like, you know what, I'm sorry, I just don't feel the same way, but let's be friends. Like, don't be rude to her. Like, you can't force someone's feelings. You can't make someone like you. You can't force a connection. But like, as long as you are forward and transparent with your feelings and what you want and your goals, then like that's how you're gonna find someone. Because you know.
I don't know how to use Kicks. This is the first time I've ever been on here, and I don't usually watch Kicks either. So I don't know how many viewers we had or have had, or if we have any questions or whatever, but normally this would be the part where like if anybody has questions, you can ask them and we'll answer them. But I think the one we had, Daniel had asked earlier. So if anybody has anything, I don't even know if anybody's watching, but you can do it now. So we're gonna wrap it up, but really quick, we're gonna play a game of Would You Rather. We just got a couple questions here, and they're really like funny. You guys can both answer. One can answer. I don't care. Just if you guys don't like the question, we'll skip you. Okay, so would you rather marry an ogre or a troll?
Ogre.
I'd say ogre too.
Ogre.
They're probably a little taller.
Taller. You know, cushion.
Stronger to protect you.
Strong.
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
Okay, would you rather accidentally send a nude to your dad or your boss?
My boss. I don't have a dad.
So
my dad.
If we had dads, I wouldn't pick dad.
I think boss.
I would pick boss.
Well, unless it's a really good job. I don't know if it's like if I get paid a lot.
Well,
You could get fired.
Yeah, and I could get
Technically,
fired.
you'd
Yeah.
be sending it to Danielle.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Never mind. I sent it to my boss.
No, I would say boss. I feel like we could laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Even
could be
boss.
a joke. As
I
long as
mean,
you're
but
not
I'm
gonna
gonna be
get
That's
fired.
honest.
gonna
Like,
be
if I
bad.
send it to my dad would just be like, what the fuck?
No, literally.
That's funny.
So,
Okay, would you rather say your ex's name during sex or your partner's best friend's name?
we were talking about this in the kitchen.
No.
Yeah.
Probably best friend.
Oof.
I
But
don't
then
know.
they're gonna think you currently have feelings. for the
Yeah,
best
I
No,
was
because
gonna
like,
say
what
ex.
if their best friend is like a part of our friend group?
Yeah.
And then it's like and we were like
We
talking
were
about them that
just
day.
with him.
No, literally, like we were just with him,
Oh.
but like they know that like because like I don't know my ex, because then it's like, oh, you're still hung up on your ex.
Yeah.
I would.
But like you know, if you're in a relationship with your ex for like a year and a half, and like you just are used to saying their name, and maybe it slips.
Maybe, I don't
I
know.
would say ex for me.
I
I would
would
say ex.
I think I would say front. I think they would. I don't know. Never mind.
Well,
Maybe
I
ex.
don't think
I don't know. Both are really bad.
Yeah, both are
Okay.
bad. I would say ex.
Would you rather eat bugs or cat food for the rest of your life?
Cat food.
Cat food.
Cat food all day.
Ew.
Cat food.
They make some good cat
I
food
feel like some people are
nowadays.
into bugs
What kind
though.
of bug?
I don't know, like
No.
any bugs.
No bugs.
What kind of
I'm
bug?
not putting any bugs in my mouth.
If it's a slug,
Do I get like milk with my
No,
cat
I
food?
would. They're making good cat foods nowadays.
Yeah,
Good.
honestly,
Milk
there's
with
some
your
good.
Dry
There's
or
some
We all,
wet?
we all,
Dry-
we're all cat ladies.
dry
can
or
you
wet?
tell?
Dry
We're
or
all
wet
cat
cat
ladies.
food?
You can
We all
have
have cats.
Dry or wet? Is there?
Like the dry stuff's like eating chips. The wet stuff's
I
like
just
eating
get
a
some
meal.
milk.
Yeah, you get like a
Throw it in
snack,
there.
and you get like
I
a.
got cereal
cat
with cat
food.
food.
Okay.
Yeah, big time cat
Last
ladies.
question. If you are in the moment and you're having sex with somebody, would you rather bust out laughing or bust out crying?
Oh, I've done both.
Laughing.
Bitch, I had to. Fuck.
I haven't cried yet, but
You would cry during sex.
no. Why would you cry during sex?
Sometimes you're just okay. I've been having a really good time, and it's happening to yours.
Oh no, see, sometimes I'm having a really bad time and I'm like thinking,
Yeah, I would
I'm
say.
putting my life in my head. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I'd rather laugh.
I
'cause
would
then
rather-
you could
yeah.
be like funny. I don't know.
You
I
don't
would
think I'd be
rather
offended and be
laugh.
like, "What the fuck are you laughing
No,
at?"
I'd be like, I'm just having such a good time.
Crazy.
I'm just a crazy bitch.
Explain
I
why
would
you're
rather
laughing is
laugh.
easier
I
than
feel like I could
explaining
play
why
off
you're crying.
laughing.
Having done both, I would rather laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all that I have. You guys have anything else? Questions, comments, concerns?
Oh my goodness, this was great.
Yeah, I'm not as nervous anymore. But I'm also gonna. I know this lives somewhere in Kick permanently, but I'm also gonna post it to YouTube. And if anybody's watching Instagram, I'm gonna clip it up in a little clippy clips, and then you can watch it on there. But yeah, we'll be here next week.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Woo woo.